doing Arithmetic Series today. All right. And series just means the sum of the terms. All right, so the word series just means you're summing the terms. All right, so the difference between a sequence and a series. Do you see the difference? Anybody see the difference between the two? One has one thing, one has another. Very good. Good job, Keelan. So this one contains commas. So a sequence is just a list, whereas when it says series, it actually wants you to add them up. So it has plus signs. So that's just the difference between them. So sequence is a list with commas. Series is the sum, so it would have plus signs. Okay. All right, so this S sub n means the sum. And then as you can see here, they've added, so it is the sum of the first term, because A sub 1 is your first term, through the nth term. All right, you might need more time to write. Okay, we're actually going to jump to the back because I think it makes sense if we do it in a different order than was originally presented. Okay, so sigma notation is a less lengthy and more concise way to write a series. Okay, here's what you need to know. This symbol is called sigma in Greek, okay? So that's where this word sigma is coming from. That's the Greek letter, sigma, okay? What you need to know is that it means sum. It means sum. So it kind of looks like an S, so it means sum. So as you can see here, they've done it by hand. I'm going to show you how we're going to do it in the calculator, but they've done it by hand. They've started with number 1, so they've plugged in a 1, and then they've gone all the way up to 4. So they've plugged in a 1, then they plugged in a 2, then they plugged in a 3, then they plugged in a 4. So they stopped at 4, and then they simplified it, and they added them all up. Why did they add them all up? Because it's a sum, and so they got 30, okay? All right. Let me show you how we're going to do that in the calculator, and we'll just start with this first example. So in your calculator, all right, in your calculator, this is new. You haven't done this before. You're going to go to second stat. Second stat. And you're going to go over to math, and you're going to go down to sum, and you're going to press enter. You might need me to repeat that step. Okay, then you hit second stat again, go over to OPS, and go down to sequence, press enter. If your calculator looks different from mine, then just hold on. If yours looks like mine, I'm going to show you what we're going to do. We're going to type in 4x plus 3. So we have to use an x instead of an n. So 4x plus 3 goes on the top line. The variable we're using is x. The start is whatever's down at the bottom. So we're going to start at 3. We're going to end at 5. And this is always a 1. That's always a 1. Okay? All right, if your calculator looks like this right now, if it looks like this, sum, parentheses, sequence, parentheses, you need to start typing now. You're going to type in 4x plus 3, comma, x, so the comma's above the 7. Comma 3, comma 5, comma 1. And press enter. All right, you should get 57. Let me walk around. Okay, so you get 57. Okay, so, okay, so same thing. Whenever you see this symbol and a formula, you can use your calculator. So let's practice the calculator again. All right, so help me out. What buttons am I going to press? Yep, second stat. Over to math. Go to sum. All right, then what? Second stat. Thanks. All right, then what? Over to the middle one, down to sequence. Okay, what am I going to type on that top line?
2x minus 4.
Good, 2x minus 4. If your calculator looks different, you can go ahead and start typing 2x minus 4. Okay, then you would need to put a comma. If your calculator looks different than mine, you would need to put a comma. Then it's always going to be an x, then another comma, if yours is different from mine. What do you think this one's starting at? 1. It's the bottom number. It's starting at 1. Then a comma, if your calculator's different. Then what? 5. And then you always end with a 1, so comma 1 at the end. Okay? So that's what it should look like if your calculator looks like this. 2x minus 4, comma x, comma 1, comma 5, comma 1. And you get 10. Okay? Okay. So negative 9, 1, 3. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay. Flip it back over to the front. Flip it back over to the front. Okay. This is another way they present it. Find S sub 4. S stands for the sum, okay? This is the formula. This means the sum of the first 4 terms. So that subscript S is the sum of the first 4 terms. So another way you could write it, which you don't have to, I just want to show you, another way to write this is the 2n plus 6 would be out to the side. You don't have to. What do you think you're going to start with? What number? If you're doing the first 4 terms, what do you think you're starting with? The first one. And then where am I going to? The 4th one. Okay? So you don't need to write that. You do need to know how to do it in your calculator. Yeah, but you don't even need to write it. I was just showing you. Okay? All right. So once again, same thing. We're using our calculators. And so second stat, math, sum, OPS, sequence. Oh, sorry, Samantha. Here, I'm going to start over, okay? All right, so clear your screen. All right, you ready? Okay, second stat, over to math, choose sum, okay? Press enter. Then second stat over to OPS. Then choose sequence. All right, does your calculator look like mine or no? Okay, so what you're going to type here is 2x plus 6, because on the top line, 2x plus 6. The variable is always x. You're going to start at 1. You're going to end at 4. And then that's always a 1. And then you press enter, 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 and you should get 44. Did you? Okay. All right, did we get 44? Yes. Okay. Yes. It's just saying, what are you counting by? And so we're counting by ones. The one is, sorry, where did this one come from, or the one at the end? Okay. All right, so Keith, help me with this one. What does S3 mean? The first 3. So what am I starting with? The 1, and I'm going to the third one. Okay. Then I would, this is my formula. Okay. You don't need to distribute that. The calculator will take care of it. What you do need to do in your calculator is you need to make sure you close your parentheses. So second stat over to math, sum, second stat, OPS, sequence. Make sure 4 parentheses 3x minus 2. Oops. 3x minus 2. You have to put another parentheses. Even if your calculator looks different from mine, you have to put a parentheses before you put the comma on this one, because there's a parentheses right there. You have to put it in the calculator as well. So parentheses, I'm going from 1 to 3 and ending in a 1. Yep, just like this. Okay. All right, are we getting 48? All right, this next part is not, well, I mean, you can still use a calculator, but it's not as simple. It's not as straightforward. Okay. The arithmetic series is just the sum of an arithmetic or arithmetic, however you pronounce it, sequence. So that's the only difference. They're just adding in this word, arithmetic. So we're not super concerned about that right now. Okay, what does S stand for? Sum. Okay, S stands for sum. So we have a new formula. You don't need to memorize it. It'll be on the board. Okay, so we have a new formula, sum. A1 is the what? First term. AN, there's a couple different ways they call that. Sometimes they call it the nth term. Sometimes they call it the last term. And sometimes they make you use the formula from yesterday. So AN equals A1 plus DN minus 1. Okay? So it just depends on the problem, how it's presented. Okay? Okay, so let's do an actual problem with this formula. So, find these sums. Circle that, please. Oh my gosh, crazy. Circle the word sum. Okay, circle the word sum. So it says find these sum. So do you think we're going to use the purple formula or the black formula? Purple. Purple means sum. So we're going to use the purple formula. So S equals. Do they tell us what N is? Have they given us that information? Yes. What is it? 24. Then we put it over 2. parentheses, have they told us what the first term is? What is it? 8. And have they told us what the last term is? What is it? 146. Okay. Can I type that all in my calculator now? Yes. Now I can type it all in my calculator. Okay. What you got? Yes. Good. Okay. Anybody have a... Okay. For this next one, we're still finding the sum, so I'm still going to use the sum formula, the one in purple. So S equals, have they given us N? What is it? N is 17. Have they given us A1? What is it? 21. Have they given us A sub N? No. So I'm going to have to use yesterday's formula. Okay? I'm going to have to use the formula in black up here. So to get A sub N, what comes first in that formula? A1, which is what in this case? 21. Plus, what comes next? -3, so you could put that instead of the plus. And then I know what N is too. What's N? 17. 17 minus 1 is 16. Okay? So type that in your calculator. Yep. -27, right? Yes? Okay. And then that goes in that spot. And then I type that in my calculator. 17 over 2, parentheses 21 plus -27. What are we getting? -51, good. Okay. Any questions? Okay. C, we're still trying to find the sum. Still trying to find sum. So we're going to do the sum formula. Trayvon, what comes, well, do we know what N is in this one? No. No, we don't. Okay, so I don't know what N is. I don't know how many terms I have. There's no subscript. So for now, I'm just going to put N over 2. Okay. Tanner, do I know what A1 is? 9. And Anthony, do I know what AN is? The last term. What is it? Okay, let me pause. 6. Okay, so the last term is 776. Okay, I have a problem. Golly, this is just not working for me today. Okay, I have a problem. I have a variable here and a variable here, so there's no way to solve this at this point. Anybody have an idea of how we can find N?
We can pursue AN equals 9 plus 13.
Yes. Well, yes and no. You're on the right track. But, okay, so to find N, I'm going to use yesterday's formula. But I can go ahead and put something in for AN. What can I put in for AN? 776 equals, what's the first one? 9 plus, how can I find D? What they're going by, 13. And then I'm trying to find N, so N minus 1. Okay. All right, Let's see. Chandler, what do you do next right here? How? What's something that can move? Good. Okay, so that gives me 13n minus 13. All right, what else would I have to do, Chandler? What do you think can go together? Yeah. Yeah, you could have done that way. You can also put these together, so that gives you negative 4. So what moves over to the 776? Yep. So that gives me 780. And then what do you do last, Chandler? You get 60? Okay. All right. Charlie, what do I have to do with the 60 now? Good. Plug it in for n. So 60 goes in that spot. And Trayvon, what do you have to do last? Good. All right, what do you got? Anybody? 550? Questions? Okay, flip it over. All right, how many terms were added to get a sum of 5,958 when the first term is 8 and the last term in the series is 323? Okay, what word do you think I want you to circle? Sum. Circle the word sum. That tells me I'm going to use the purple formula, okay, because it's talking about sum, so I'm going to use the purple formula. S stands for sum. Do I already know what the sum is? Yes, what is it? So that's going to go in the S spot, okay? All right, do I know what N is? Nope. Do I know what the first term is? Do I know what AN is? It's the last term, which is 323. Okay. All right, how many letters are in this equation? Just one, so I can solve it from here. Okay, I can solve this. What is the easiest thing to do next? Algebraically, what's the easiest thing to do next? Okay, you could do it that way. I don't think that's the easiest, but that would work. I think adding the 8 and the 323 is the easiest. Okay, so that would give me 331. Okay. What could I do next? Divide by what? Divide by 331. So I'm multiplying by 331, so divide by it. All right, what does that give you? 18. Okay. I'm still trying to get n by itself. What's still with n? A 2. And it's dividing by 2. So what's the opposite of dividing by 2? Multiply by 2. Okay, what is the question asking? How many terms were added? N is the number of terms, so we've answered their question. So 36 is the final answer. Okay. All right, what is the second term of an arithmetic series if the first term is 9, the nth term is 105, and the sum is 741? Austin, what do I want you to circle? Sum. And so, Kirsten, are we using the purple or the black formula? Purple. Kirsten, they've already given us the sum. What is it? So that goes in that spot. Jessica, do we know what n is? 105 is the nth term, so we don't know n. Cole, do we know the first term? What is it? And Chase, do we know a sub n? So once again, guys, if you'll look back, a sub n is the nth term. It's also called the last term. So that's some of the terminology they use. So the nth term is 105. Okay. Okay, so let's solve that for n. Keelan, what could I do next? Good. I think that's the easiest. There's different ways to do it. Sure. Okay, divide. Okay, that's okay to get a decimal because we're not done yet. And then multiply by 2. Very good. Bless you. All right, what is the question asking? What is the second term? Have we found that? No. We found n is 13. What does that even mean? Yes. It also means that, yes, it does. It also means that if you sum 13 of them, you get 741. That's another thing it means. Okay, so to find the second term, Austin says we could use the black formula. Let's try it. This problem is actually not very nice, but let's try it. So I think that's where I would try next if I was doing this on my own. I would try the black formula. So I'm trying to do the second term. So A2 equals, do I know the first term? 9. Do I know D? No. So right here I have to stop because I have 2 letters and there's no way to solve something with 2 letters in it. So I need to back up a little bit. I can't do A2 yet. I can't find the second term yet. What could I find? What do I need to find? What letter did I need? D. I needed D. Instead of doing A2, I could do A something else. What would I put instead of AN? What? I heard someone say it, I think. Instead of AN, I could put in 105. Very good. I could put in 105. Okay, to help me find D. All right, what goes in for A1? 9. I still don't know D. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, 105. I need to figure out what N went with that. But look, that's why I did this. What is the N that goes with 105? 13. 13 minus 1 is 12. So let me say that again. So 105 is the nth term, and I found N to be 13. Okay, so that's where the 12 came from, 13 minus 1. Okay, Anna, what would you do next right here? Very good. So that gives you 96. Yep. Divide by 12. What is D? 8. Okay, what are they asking for? Second term. Oh, yeah. Sorry, let's take the shortcut. So the first term is 9. The difference is 8, so I add 8. So this is the first term. That's the difference. What's 9 plus 8? 17. Good. Okay, I want to work one more. You don't have to write it down, but I need to show you one more thing to help you with your homework. Okay. It would help you to pay attention because there's going to be one homework problem like this. Okay, what's important? The sum. So what formula I use in black or purple? Purple. What do I know what goes in for S? Yeah, what goes in for S? Negative 120, because the sum is negative 120, so that goes in for S. Do I know what N is? 16, very good. N stands for the number of terms. Well, I have 16 of them. Okay, sorry. This should say 16 terms. So 16 is N. Do I know a 1? No. Do I know, sorry. Great. So yes, I don't know A1. Do I know A sub N? It's 15, because remember this is the last one. Well, there's 16 of them, and what's the 16th term? 15. Okay. All right. I have one letter, so I can solve this, but I have to do some different steps than I did before. What do you think is the easiest thing to do first? Divide, okay? What's 16 divided by 2? Okay, I think that's the easiest thing to do first. Okay, what else could I do? I could distribute, that would work. What else could I do? All right, let's distribute. That's what we're saying. 8, A1, 8 times 15. Somebody do that for us. 60, is it 120? Okay. All right, what would I do next? Minus 120. And then what do you do last? Divide. So that gives you negative 30. Okay, so that one's a little different than the other one we did. So I just wanted to show you one of those to help you. Okay.